Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
All right. Hello, I'm Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to have Todd Vigil with me here today. Todd is a results-driven nonprofit marketing leader known for his innovative data-driven strategies. He founded Elihub. Is that pronounced right, Todd?
Yep, Elihub.
Yep, Elihub, to help nonprofits utilize Google's ad grant program. As chief marketing officer for the Phoenix Symphony, he drove significant transformation through digital marketing. With over a decade of experience, Todd has led marketing for institutions like the Heard Museum. He also chairs the Marketing Council at ASU's Lodestar Center. Welcome to the show, Todd.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Glad to be here.
A lot of great stuff there. There's a lot of great stuff there. So how about a snapshot of what you're doing now? Where's your focus currently?
Sure. About 3 years ago, I started Elihub, and we are a really niche marketing agency. We work almost exclusively with nonprofits, typically small to mid-size, and we help them utilize Google's ad grant program, which is a really generous program that Google's had for over 20 years, where they give most 501c3s up to $10,000 a month in free advertising.
Wow.
Yeah, the challenge is a lot of small nonprofits, a lot of nonprofits in general just don't know about it. And even if they do, they just don't have the time or the right people to manage that internally.
Okay.
And they don't have the budgets for a full service agency. So we try to fill in that niche for smaller nonprofits who can use this program and arguably benefit from it more. So that's our focus now.
That's big value. That's really, really impressive. I didn't know about it either.
Yeah, it's a really powerful program. It's been around a long time, and every nonprofit should be trying to use it, at least in my opinion.
So is the challenge educating them to its awareness usually, or is it how to navigate it once they want to take advantage of it?
Believe it or not, it's both. Even in the nonprofit community, I would say half the people I talk to don't even know about the program.
Right.
And then the second half is one, getting them to see the value. And we've designed our solution to be kind of an all-encompassing. So we try to take as much workload off of the nonprofit as possible, so they really can focus on their missions and not have to worry about this. So
right.
Convincing them of that value and partnering with someone like us is really the second part.
Okay. Well, first, how do you find them and start educating them? What's sort of your outreach model?
Well, it's the biggest honor that we have. Over 50% of our clients have come from referrals. So it's just great. It's just a great honor that we have. And then the rest of it's largely conferences. I go to a lot of conferences, both in Arizona and around the country, just talking to nonprofits, exhibiting. I just FaceTime.
Okay. Now, so what's the spiel you would give them? How do you show them the value of this free Google service and how you can help them leverage it?
Yeah, a lot of times it's really that spiel I just mentioned. It's educating them what the program is, that it's up to $10,000 a month in free advertising. And what we tell them is when it's done right, we guarantee that it will increase quality website traffic. We will get more of the right people to your website and encourage them to do the things you want them to do. So that could be donations, newsletter signups, volunteer inquiries, download a PDF, watch a podcast, or listen to a podcast, anything that we can track from a conversion standpoint. Just trying to add the value there.
Okay. And what's kind of your general client, I guess? Are they small, big, everything in between?
Yeah, we've got everything from one-person passion projects up to fairly large, $3 to $5 million organizations. In reality, our niche is nonprofits who just typically don't have a large budget or team around marketing.
Okay.
Those that have larger budgets, we encourage them. In my previous jobs at the Phoenix Symphony, the Heard Museum, we worked with full service agencies and they added tremendous value.
Right.
The nonprofits we work with are typically smaller. They can't afford those hefty retainers, kind of that full service approach. So we have a more basic model. So I would say kind of in the under 1 million is probably our largest bucket, but we've got several larger than that as well.
Okay. What sort of markets are you in, and how do you service them digitally as well as where are they geographically? I don't know if that matters, right? I mean, if you have an autism nonprofit here in Phoenix, they don't need to only market through Google here locally, right? Can you speak to some of that?
Yeah, so we have I think we're onboarding our 66th client right now around the U.S. And we kind of break them into three groups. We've got local nonprofits, so smaller nonprofits, maybe a Boys and Girls Club, a Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Okay.
We have some statewide organizations where it's a typical estate or kind of a regional area, and then we do have several national clients where we're marketing around the country for them. And those are the ones who typically see the full value, that up to that $10,000 a month. So yeah, it's great. We've got nonprofits all over, different verticals, everything from museums to small orchestras, mental health. We have several mental health clients, and a lot of youth and teen. So like I said, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs.
Okay. And if somebody wants to get better at marketing, I mean, is there something different about a nonprofit for marketing versus a for-profit, or is it just the grant is Google gives you a certain value amount of credit per month? Is it the same sort of process through Google? Just the source of payment is different?
Yeah, I mean, technically, what we specifically do it is Google paid search. It's just Google's picking up the tab on the ads. We charge a small retainer to manage that program.
Right.
I think to answer the broader question you're asking is, by and large, my opinion is nonprofits, even the ones I work in, just don't invest enough in digital. We spend a lot of time and energy on either old or inefficient modes of advertising that just are not getting results. And it's because of or thinks it's important, or they like to see their name in the paper. Whereas we really try to encourage our nonprofits that we work with to focus on conversions, try to follow the data, and really be strategic about where you spend your limited dollars.
Okay. And let's say a billboard, right? Which I don't know, I imagine they're expensive. I don't know. But if you want to be, I don't know, they have fractional ads on billboards now because they're digital. Yeah. But even then, somebody driving by might see it, but they may not be able to take action on it at that point, right? Whereas if they're at their computer, they're shopping or something, they're definitely in a better position to click on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I don't know a lot about Google marketing and ads, but I imagine there's a lot to know about the nuances behind that. Can you speak to how you're a little unique in that sense?
Yeah, we just developed a really simplified strategy that we deploy to our clients. It's on our website, so it's not a secret, and it just allows us to charge less than a full service agency would. Again, full service agencies offer a lot of value for larger organizations, and so what we do is we focus on those three campaigns. It's a really simplified strategy, but we're all about results. So it's conversion focused. Google, I know Google gets a lot of heat in the media and things, but at the end of the day, Google really wants people to find what they're looking for online as quickly as possible. And if they can click on an ad along the way, they're happy to do that. So Google is really good at intent. And so we try to build our ads just knowing that that's how Google works. We want to make sure that they're quality ads, that we're only getting those ads in front of the right people. It's not about a billboard. Billboard's about awareness and lift and things like that. A lot of our nonprofits, they don't need that. They need someone to come in and actually do something small and meaningful on their website, like sign up for the newsletter or make a small donation or sign up to be a volunteer. So we really just follow the data and do, a conversion focused strategy. And Google lets us do a lot of things on the back end without giving anybody privacy. We can actually track some of those conversion actions, but not at the individual level. So it's still very private, but it helps us make decisions, and Google can optimize those ads towards more people like that.
Okay. And in terms of directing those ads, Google I know gives a lot of tools for that. Let's say there's an event for the Humane Society and they want people to show up and help out with something. There's like keywords and other interests for people you can use to target. Is that right?
Yeah, keywords are kind of like the ingredients. There's keywords and there's search terms. So keywords are giving a framework to Google on what we think people are going to be looking for. But then on the flip side, there's actual search terms. So what people are truly typing in to Google is really also telling. Thankfully, Google literally has been doing AI for 15 years. They aren't getting the credit for it right now, but they've got a lot of tools in place to make sure that keywords are relevant and being used efficiently. Even if we don't get it right 100%, Google knows that, hey, this keyword probably should be included in this campaign, or someone really does intend, event and, volunteering at an event for the Humane Society. Someone is looking for that. Google knows that and can help us hone that in.
And they can geographically fence that, right? You can say, we're doing an adoption event at this spot of Mesa. I don't need people in Flagstaff being notified, right?
Yep, absolutely. And that's a huge part of what we do. We can go down to literally a mile around a single address. But most of our clients are, countywide, occasionally citywide, or larger. And then on the back end, we can optimize. So some of our clients who, national clients who are getting the full $10,000, we have to go in and have conversations about them, about how to prioritize. We now have to make a decision. Do we go for volume? Do we go for quality? Do we kind of go for both? So there's a lot of data decisions around those higher spend categories.
Okay. So, and yeah, as you said, the search terms, somebody's searching for kittens or something, right? They're more likely. Okay. That's very interesting. What's some of the biggest challenges you have in that field?
Honestly, it's awareness. It's getting in front of nonprofits and educating them about the program. That's one of the biggest things. One of the things that's hard for us, but it also adds value to our clients, is things change. Google changes their algorithm, fairly regularly. They'll change their rules. Someone may update a website. And so we have to stay on top of all of those things. And the way we operate, it's a much leaner operation. It's not that full service agency. So we do rely on automation and some reporting to make sure that we're staying on top of our clients. So when things do change, we know about it and can react, but still fulfill our mission and our model, our business model.
Okay. Are there particular challenges for Elihub having to deal with maintaining or proving nonprofits eligibility and things like that you do for them?
Not typically. Thankfully, between the IRS and organizations like GuideStar and TechSoup, nonprofits kind of get several seals of approval. Google relies on the IRS and TechSoup. So typically, if they've passed those two things and they're a 501c3, they'll typically qualify.
Okay.
There's some exceptions around education and healthcare, but by and large, most nonprofits will get approved.
Okay. So do most of your clients get educated by you for upfront and then they do things on their own, or do they stick with you to keep things going over time?
No, most of our clients stick with us over time. We have a very strong retention rate. Again, we just take it off their plate. We make sure that they get a report every month that shows them that we're doing our job. And we check in with them. One, if something goes wrong, but two, it's about every 6 months to make sure, strategies haven't changed, or if turnover, if staffing have changed. But we designed it to be kind of a solution that they can set it and forget it if they want to.
Right. Okay. And your growing list of clients and that 50% of referrals are a great testament to your services. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. We're honored by that statistic.
So how did you get into that space? Was it through normal marketing that you started to work for nonprofits yourself?
Well, I make the joke that at the time I worked for Arizona's largest nonprofit, which was U.S. Airways, which is an airline joke because they have been unprofitable. But I got hired as the director of marketing for the Phoenix Symphony in 2012, and really grew in that role around the digital component and just understanding how we could sell more tickets and reach new audiences digitally. And so that kind of kicked off my nonprofit career. I did that for over 12 years before starting this company. And we've now been around for 3 years and growing at a pretty good pace now. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Getting some traction. So I think of Symphony and digital. I think of like the events they do nowadays where they have video screens and stuff for things. Did you promote a lot of those?
Yeah.
Harry Potter is one of the ones my family wanted to go to.
Yeah. It's, I give a talk on it occasionally about a work I did at the Symphony. And, at the end of the day, marketing is the 4 Ps still. It's product, price, place, and promotion. A lot of times we just talk about promotion and advertising, or in this case, just digital. But in reality, it was a lot of work on programming as well. So things like tribute bands, music of Queen, music of ABBA, movies, right. Nightmare Before Christmas, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and now they've got all sorts of ones out there too. Home Alone, all those great Christmas movies are, you can go
really
with an orchestra, which is fun.
Okay. And what did you do before then? How did you get into marketing in the first place?
Yeah, it was really that transition. I went to school for marketing, but it took about 10 years of management. Worked for Target stores and U.S. Airways.
Okay.
In that transition from U.S. Airways, I had some exposure to marketing there. I worked on their uniform programs of all things at U.S. Airways, and so that kind of gave me a little bit of a foot in the door on marketing. And I had a great set of bosses at the Symphony who took a chance on me and let me come in and figure it out. Took a while, but by year 3 or 4, we were really doing some great things. And I stayed there for 7 years. So really proud of my time at the Symphony.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. That's a nice local impact in itself. But given your impact and your focus now on nonprofits and stuff, do you have a desired impact in the Phoenix area that you want to, some sort of goal or something through your current endeavor that you want to reach so many nonprofits or raise so much money for them?
Well, looking back, we just received a generous grant from the State 48 Foundation, and part of that process, we've realized over $500,000 in free ads for Arizona nonprofits in the last year. So we're looking to grow both locally and nationally. My vision for the company is really that second part of the word, the Elihub, is just becoming a digital transformation resource for nonprofits that people can, nonprofit leaders, marketing managers, directors, CEOs can come and really find easy, actionable ways to move their organizations forward digitally. Because it's, I work with a lot of nonprofits, and a lot of them are working, with shoestring budgets and old systems and spreadsheets. So our goal is, as we grow and stabilize our company, to add services and resources that can just make that process easier and very actionable.
For sure. And I imagine you have a network of other potential affiliates that can be useful as you've continued to grow your relationships with nonprofits for services that you may not supply yourself, but you can be a real, in terms of a hub, right? They can come to you and there's all sorts of things they didn't know, such as Google grants.
Yeah, exactly. I get a lot of what I call phone a friend, requests, right? Give a call and see if I know anyone, and always happy to refer those people. Most of them here in Phoenix, obviously, people I know and work with.
Okay, excellent. Because I potentially am already thinking of some people that I'm going to refer to you, Todd. So I think that
very kind.
It sounds like a absolutely great resource. That's awesome. So, reflecting back on where you're at now, what do you wish you knew about building wealth sooner in your career or wealth and success?
Yeah, it's, I think about this a lot because I started the entrepreneurial journey relatively late, at least, and I wish I'd known the benefits of that entrepreneurial journey sooner. From an investing and wealth building standpoint, I've been pretty traditional. I'm, on investing and, diversified, low cost, ETFs, pretty standard portfolio in my working career. But really not knowing about that, not knowing the power of launching my own business, until later in life. But I have to reconcile with the fact that if I had done this 20 years ago, this idea wouldn't have been there. because I wouldn't have had the experience or the network to do it. Because I've worked for the last 15 years in nonprofits and built up a great network and understand them because I've worked in them. So I'm okay with it now, but I really wish I had taken that plunge a little bit sooner.
Okay, sure. That's a common one, actually. I mean, the U.S. is not really geared for educating entrepreneurs, right? It's geared for raising W-2 workers, and so that's one challenge. But then also, almost everybody I know who's had, maybe not necessarily regrets, but delays or failures in certain fields wouldn't change them because that's how they got to where they're at now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So even people, who is it, Stockdale, 8 years prisoner of war, said he wouldn't change it because it's how he became so strong-minded and got him to where he is now. And so it's weird, right? You wouldn't choose it, but you wouldn't give it up after you go through such trials often.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Well, if somebody wants to learn more or learn more about the hub or reach out to you, how can they do that?
Sure. Our website's elihub.com. We have a lot of great information on there. Both personally and the company are on LinkedIn and active. Todd Vigil and Elihub are both pretty easy to find. Always happy to talk to nonprofits about this program, even if they're not ready to, hire help. We just love educating people on this program. So always happy. My calendar link is on the website. And just, we can walk through that program. The application, I will say, and if there's any nonprofits listening or the ones you referred, Tim, the application for the Google for Nonprofit program is very, very simple. It's the easiest application they'll probably ever do. And, but we can help guide them, get them started on that process. A lot of times we work with nonprofits who just get stuck somewhere along the way and they get locked out of their account or something happened. So we can always troubleshoot that too at no charge, just helping nonprofits get ready for this great program.
Okay, excellent. And for our listeners, that's ELEEHUB, Hub, Elihub. Can you say what ELEE stands for, Todd?
Yeah, it's a derivative. It's a root word for a word called eleemosynary, which is a nickel word that means charitable or philanthropic. Okay. So I just stole the root word there. I've only ever heard it used twice in the real world, but I thought it was good enough to steal the name.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's fitting. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching. Thank you very much, Todd Vigil, for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your story and your knowledge about helping nonprofits. That's going to be very helpful to everyone in that field for sure.
I appreciate the invite. Thanks, Tim.
All right. Thank you very much.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.